What's going on, guys? Today we're going to show you how to install the adjustable front sway bar on a Maverick R. But before we do that, let's talk about some pointers. The first thing you're going to notice that there is adjustable holes on the bar. This is a solid bar as opposed to the factory, so it's already going to be a little bit stiffer than stock, typically about 20%. Now as you get closer into the bar, it's going to be 20% stiffer than that. This bar is also made out of CRSI material, which is widely looked at as the best material for longevity on sway bars and springs. Now that we've gone through this, let's go watch Joey install it on the car.
All right guys, so today we're gonna be showing you how to do a front sway bar on a Mav R. Pretty simple, we'll get right into it. We'll start by taking off the front links and then we'll dig into the actual sway bar install itself. So some tools that you're gonna need is gonna be a 19 ratchet and a wrench. If you have stock links, you're gonna use an 18 wrench to get that link off. With our links, you're gonna need a 19. So go ahead and start by taking off the front links and then the sway bar after that. It does get a little bit tight in there, but it's nothing too bad, so let's get right into it. Okay, we'll just go ahead and slide that link out of the way for now. And then to get to these bolts for the actual sway bar, just go ahead and grab a ratchet with an 18. And then we'll just get this second one on this side, break them loose. All right, this side is pretty much ready to come out. Now we got to go to the other side and do the same thing. So now we're on the other side, same thing. We're gonna start by taking off the passenger side link, which are gonna be two 19s. And I like to just put the nut back on the bolt so that way I don't lose any of the spacers or the washers or anything like that. Move that out of the way. Now I can go ahead and disconnect my bolts for the sway bar. There's one, and then get this back one. Now that we have all the nuts taken off from all the bolts, we can go ahead and just pull all the bolts out. We'll move on to the other side really quick, do the same thing, just pull the bolts out. So there's quite a bit of room in here for the sway bar, so you can go ahead and just pull it straight out, kind of get it to an angle, point it up a little bit and pull it straight out. So once you have the old sway bar out, you're going to be reusing these bushings and the clamp, so make sure you pull the clamp off and pull the bushings off and put them onto the new sway bar. Pretty easy. Just splits right here. You can just go ahead and pull it off just like that. Grab the new sway bar. Just like that. Then you're gonna want to put the new clamp back on, right over it like that. Like that. Cool. So when you put your bushings on, you want to make sure that when you go to put it on in the car that your Zerk fittings are facing down. That is going to allow you to grease up your bushings once the sway bar is in the car. So now we're going to go ahead and throw this back into the car. Same way we got the stock sway bar out. You're gonna want to face it up, kind of angle it in there, throw it over the frame. So now we're gonna go ahead and do that. So now, just like I said, we're gonna kind of angle it up, throw it all the way over, pass over the frame and down. Now, if you can see in here, this middle hole is gonna be for your Zerk fitting, as it'll place just like that in there. From there, once your Zerk fitting is sitting inside its hole, your clamp is lined up, you can go ahead and throw the bolts back in there. Go ahead and just put your nuts back onto the bolts loosely until you get the other side on, then you can go ahead and tighten it up. Get this back nut on there. And then from there, once that's kind of loosely on there, go ahead and put your link back on. Now we're just gonna repeat the steps that we did on the other side. First, by getting our sway bar bolts back in there. Just get the nut started. Get this back wall right here. Okay. We'll get our sway bar back on there. Okay, now we've got everything kind of loosely on there. We can go ahead and tighten everything up and torque everything down. I'm gonna start with the sway bar bolt itself, kind of work our way backwards from how we took it off. Okay, now we'll tighten up our sway bar link. So now we'll go ahead and grab a torque wrench, torque down the sway bar bolts themselves first. Those are going to be torqued down to 88 foot-pounds. Go from the bottom here. Okay. And we'll get this back one. Then we'll torque down the sway bar link. Those get torqued down to 110 foot-pounds. All right, so now we're on the other side, same thing. Okay. And we'll go ahead and tighten down our sway bar link. Now, if you do have stock sway bar links, these are going to go torqued down to 88 foot-pounds and not 110. So just like the other side, these sway bar bolts are going to be torqued down to 88. And last step is to torque down the sway bar link. All right, so one last step before we finish. We are gonna grease up the front sway bar. Go from underneath here, get underneath where the Zerk fitting is at. So underneath the car is the Zerk fitting. You are just gonna grease it up a little bit. Doesn't take much. And then same thing on the other side. And you are just want to make sure that you do wipe off all the excess grease. Get the excess grease out of there. And if you're looking to buy this product, you can go ahead and visit us at www.shocktherapy.com. And if you have any questions, go ahead and give us a call.